Hey everybody! So I'm starting to get back into this stuff now that I have all my stuff. Like I have this whole new desk set and a new filming area and all this finally set up. So I decided to do a quick video just to kind of test everything out, see how all the lighting is and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a really quick review on some products that I got recently. It's a lot of E.L.F. and then I got some Smashbox too. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the Smashbox because I have the least amount of that. I live on a military base and we have a BX, which is kind of like a base exchange is what it stands for. But they have a lot of cosmetic brands that are more name brand at a lesser cost. So I managed to get a little box set of Smashbox primers, and I have 3 of them, and I've been using them for a little bit, just kind of getting a feel for them, and I gotta say I really like these. I use them more than anything else. Any of my other primers, I have a few, and I use these more than I have ever used the other ones. So the first one I'm gonna use, talk about is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And it's a foundation primer, so you use it everywhere. And it's really nice. It doesn't have any oil in it, which is important for me because since I got pregnant, my skin has definitely changed. And products that have oil in them or anything like that, like heavy foundations, heavy primers, things like that, makes my skin break out really badly. So I really like the fact that this doesn't have oil in it. It's really soft. It doesn't feel heavy. It's not greasy, any of that. I really like this. I use it every time I put my makeup on. The second one is another photo finish, but this one is targeted for pores and fine lines. And it's small. It's not real big, but you don't need a lot of it. I usually just use this around my nose, on my chin, and pretty much in those areas. I have bigger pores. I have more blackheads in those areas, and more redness and things like that. So that's really where I use this. I don't really see a difference between these two. This doesn't seem to make anything, you know, less noticeable than this does. So I'm not really. I don't really see how it's supposed to target pores and fine lines, but I mean, it's good enough for a primer. It doesn't really affect anything, in my opinion. I mean, it definitely helps keep makeup on longer, but as far as like targeted pore and fine lines, I don't really see any of that. And the last primer that I got is a lid primer. It's also, I think it must have been a photo finish sampler box or something, because they all say photos finish. This is probably, and I know this is funny, but the best eyelid primer I've ever used. I've used Urban Decay, I use Too Faced, I've used E.L.F. brand. I love this. I use this every single time. It's fantastic. I mean, it definitely lasts so much longer than the other ones I've used. It definitely makes the colors pop a little bit better. There's no creasing. I love this. So I would definitely recommend this. It's a Smashbox Photo Finish Lid Primer. I love this, so definitely a big one. So that's all I have for Smashbox. I haven't really gotten very into it. I know they have some primers I want to try out, and concealers. They have concealers in different colors. They have greens and purples and things like that, and I definitely want to get some of those, but I haven't been able to, so once I get them, I'll review them. But that's all I have for Smashbox. Now I'm going to move on to E.L.F. E.L.F. has been having a ton of sales this month. It was their birthday. So they had all these 50% offs, buy one, get one, all these things. And I definitely took advantage of that while I could and got a whole lot of products. I have been very into corrective concealer. Again, since I got pregnant, my skin's changed. I have melasma, which for those who don't know is called pregnancy, which is also called pregnancy mask. It's where the skin on your chin, the cheeks, the forehead, it can change color. It's an overproduction of melanin, which is what gives our skin color. And I've noticed a lot of darkening, especially right in here and along my cheekbones. So I've been looking for a good concealer, corrective coloring, things like that to help kind of counterbalance that, because I have really fair skin and it's very, very noticeable. So when E.L.F had their big sale, one of the first things that I got was the corrective concealer palette. And the thing that drew my eye to this the most is the fact that it has green and purple tinted in it. Like this right here and this right here. Green, for those who don't know, which you might not, definitely counterbalances redness in your face. I have a lot of redness around my mouth and around the corners of my nose and on the bridge of my nose. So I've been looking for a really good green concealer. You gotta be careful though, because if you use too much of this one, it will show green through your makeup and it'll look like you have big green spots. So you gotta have to play with it, get the right tone, you know, use the right amount. And I love the purple, or the pinkish purple. I guess it doesn't really, you guys can be the judge of that. I love this. I use it for my under eye circles. It's a brightener is what they refer to it as. But I have really purple, bluish under eye circles, and I love using this for that. It has definitely helped a lot. I don't like the little brush that came with it. I've tried it many times. I don't like it. I think it doesn't really grab the product a lot. And I've virtually not touched the outside ones, mainly because I'm really light skin toned, and these are very dark for my skin tone, so I haven't really used them. But the two inner ones I really liked. But I find myself using my fingers to apply it more than the brush that was applied, given with it. So, I mean, I definitely like it. So I would probably recommend this, especially if you don't know how to use different colored concealers and things. That's a good way to learn. Again, complexion issues. I get the Complexion Perfection powder. It's 4 squares. You're supposed to blend them all together and it's supposed to help even out skin tone. I like using this as a setting powder. I actually really love this product. I've been using it every time I do my makeup. The only downside is there's tons, it's really powder, like I know it's a powder, but it's really powdery. Like when you put your brush in it, it falls out in a cascade, so you really gotta kinda, I always have to hold it out away from me, otherwise I end up with powder all over me. So I think that kind of makes it not last as longer. I don't know. But because they definitely seem to be going through this very quickly. And it coats the mirror. You can see it's just, that's probably the only downside. I think it definitely does what it says it does. I've noticed that when I use it, it definitely helps even things out. So, I mean, that's the only downside, is there's a lot of fallout from it. But you can, you know, do little tricks to kind of help prevent that. Just try not to put your brush through it while you're holding it over your coals. Another thing that I definitely wanted to try out, and I'm really, really happy with, is the E.L.F. Eye Transformer palette. These are really sheer tones of color that just kind of pop, and you can mix them to make other colors. But I always use this for an inner corner highlight when I do really bright makeup colors. I've made purples with the pink and the blue, and it has a green and a yellow in it. I've used the green. The only thing I've noticed about this is it doesn't last very long when you put it on your eye. It definitely doesn't last all day. The little brush that comes with it is very similar to the concealer one, but this one definitely does work with the powder. I think maybe the reason why the other brush doesn't work is because the concealer's a cream and it's not really meant for that. But I definitely recommend this. This is something you can definitely play around with and try and have some fun with. I know Naked Cosmetics has a Naked Pigment Stack that is very similar to this, and that's like something like $60. And this was something like between $3 and $5. It wasn't expensive. So for the money that you pay for it, it's definitely great, and it's something that you can have a lot of fun with. I use it for, like I said, the inner corner highlight, but I use it for brow highlight sometimes too. You can kind of just play around with it. I've never put it over black eyeliner, which is something they say you can do. I've never done it, but you know, you can always try. Another thing I wanted to try, because I don't really have a lot of blush, which is kind of funny to me. Being a makeup artist, I don't have a lot of blush. So I bought one of the E.L.F. blushes because I don't like to buy a lot of things, especially if I don't know if I'm going to like it. So this is freaking great. I don't want to curse on here, but I love their blush, and I definitely want like tons and tons more. This one is in Peachy Keen, and it looks a lot darker in the case than it comes out. I don't know if I can swatch it for you because I'm pale, but let's find a clean finger. I don't know if you can tell, but on these two fingers it's on there. It looks really dark in the package, but it comes out very, very sheer, and I love this blush. I'm not wearing it right now, which is funny, but I definitely want to try more of their blushes. I was a little hesitant to get it, but since I bought it, I'm really, really happy with it. It's definitely something everybody should try at least once. Golden bronzer for the E.L.F. This is okay as far as bronzers. I'm not a big fan of bronzers, but I thought I'd give it a try. This is really, really, really shimmery. When you put it on, you look shiny, and I don't like that at all. I like really matte finishes, but I mean, some people won't have a problem with it, some people will. It doesn't have the fallout the complexion perfection does. This is, you know, really solid, and it doesn't, I've never really had a problem with any fallout, but it gets really, to me, it's too shiny, it's too sparkly, it's too shimmery. I wasn't expecting that, and that's probably why I don't use it too much, but it definitely makes you look more bronze, but it makes you look like really, really shiny. So, you know, some people might like it, that's up to you, but that's just, I'm not a big fan. They came out with some new products when they came out with these sales, and one of those is the 2-in-1 conditioning gloss. I hate this. I hate it. It's so thick and tacky, and it's weird because it's, as you can see, it's got clear gloss on the outside and the color is on the inside, but when you push it, you really only get the clear gloss coming out. As you can see, you have to roll this bottom part up to get, and as you can see, not a lot even comes out. It's all clear, and it's so thick. That is a ball on my finger. If you can, like, it is so sticky and tacky, and you don't even get the color out of it. I hate this stuff. I bought 2 of them, and I really, really regret doing it. It's gross. It's gross. That's the only way to explain it's gross. When I used it, I wiped it off. I couldn't stand it. I felt like my lips were just covered in tar. It's just, ugh. And I still can't, I don't know if I'm just not using it right or something, but it's definitely way too much trouble than what it's worth. I still can't get the color part out. Like, I have a few times, but I have to work at it, and there's so much of the clear by the time you get the color out that it's just, oh, it's a mess. I do not recommend that at all. One of the other ones that they came out with is the Glossy Gloss, which is probably the funnest name ever. And these are really reminiscent of their twisty ones that look like the Stila lip glosses. I actually really like this. It's a lot better than the other one. And it kind of has, this is in Viva La Voom, I think. Nope, this is Mary Cherry. I didn't get the Viva La Voom. But it's really, really pigmented. Oh, actually, there's a lot of pigment in it, but it goes sheer too. And it's not thick or tacky or anything like that. So I definitely like, yeah, even my fingers are still, I wiped that off and they're still tacky. I can't stand the other one. But this is nice. It's a little thicker than the Click glosses that they have, the ones that you twist up. It's a little thicker. It lasts a little bit longer. It's not too heavy. I actually really like these, and I would probably buy more of those. So yeah, that's all I have so far. Like I said, I wanted to just give this a try, see how I like these. I hope you guys found some good information from this, and I'm hoping to put up more videos very soon. So it feels good to be back. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.